Chosen one, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because right now something is moving in the unseen. Something is happening in the everyday moments you overlook. Let me tell you why that moment when a dog, a cat, or a bird locks its gaze on you, holding that stare just a little too long, unblinking, unbroken, has more meaning than you think. You wave your hand, you snap your fingers, you walk away, but the stare stays glued to you, holding you, marking you. Right now, as you hear these words, you feel it might be nothing, just an animal following a sound or a movement. But I'm here to tell you it's more than that. There's a secret behind those watching eyes. Let me break this down for you. Here's what's really happening when animals seem to study you with that intensity. You're not just seen by flesh and blood. You are being observed in the spirit. You're marked. There is something resting on you that draws notice, and it's not always from people. Even the creatures around you at certain moments look and hesitate because the air shifts when you come near. That stare from the cat in the alley beneath the flickering streetlight, the way the crow on the mailbox fixes its black eyes on you, the hush when even the usual barking of the neighbor's dog dies down as you pass. These are signals. An atmosphere gathers when you walk by, and animals, more honest than humans, don't hide their reaction. Let me take you into the late hours, into that seeking, silent place at 3 a.m., when the world should be still, but your mind is not. There you lie, covers twisted, one arm thrown across your face, the fan spinning out a rhythm that does nothing to silence that question in your chest. Why do I feel watched, even in my own house? It's a pressure at the back of your neck, a tightening in your chest, a pulse that says something sees you, knows you, judges you in the dark. You open your eyes and listen. Is that a footstep in the hallway? Just the cat, probably. And then you see it, those golden eyes reflecting the streetlight, leaking through the blinds, unblinking, unashamed. A stare that drills through your half-awake heart. You whisper its name, hoping for comfort, but it doesn't flinch. The silence thickens until even the cat is a stranger. You try all the rhythms. Roll away, grab your phone, scroll feeds as if distraction could drown that gut-deep knowing. But the feeling lingers. You get up, walk out to the kitchen, pour water, check the windows, check the locks. Everything is as it should be, but the sense stays. The cat follows, smooth and silent. It sits on the threshold, eyes fixed on a corner of the room you cannot see. You say a prayer, but the words drop heavy and go nowhere, bouncing back at you. You pop a pill and chase it down with the cold water, but the feeling remains. There is no sleep, just aching awareness. The morning comes, but even with the sun in your window, the sense of being studied does not lift. It only shifts, shrinking back into the corners, but waiting, always watching, always aware. Let me show you the deeper truth. This is spiritual observation. You are not just observed by people who judge your clothes, your car, your job, but by forces and intelligences in the unseen realm. Some stare because they are sent to watch, some watch because they are drawn to the light you carry, and some stare because they know what covers you. Not just animals, but watchers, old as time, observe and report. Heaven has assigned you for divine surveillance, and earth knows it even when nobody else does. Let me explain why this is not always comfortable. When you're marked for something higher, everything around you shifts to accommodate or confront it. That glare from the dog isn't just confusion, it's recognition, it's reverence or resistance. It's the spirit world pressing through the thin places of this life. Let me break it down further, because there are moments, real, raw, disruptive, when the stare of an animal breaks something open in your day. The time you're rushing into work, focused on your schedule, and a bird lands ahead of you, staring, refusing to fly off even as you draw near. It's a reminder. The world wants you distracted, Life wants you moving 1,000 miles an hour, texts unanswered, bills on the table, appointments rescheduled, everybody needing something. But the gaze stops you. It says, be still, take note, something is happening. That's not just chance, it's a message, it's a marker. Even the created world is holding its breath for your next move. Let me tell you another truth. People may try to ignore your calling, dismiss you as irrelevant, push you toward invisibility, but the spirit realm cannot help but see. Animals respond to that disturbance in the air because your destiny vibrates. Your footsteps carry instructions. There's a reason even the most skittish pet sometimes chooses you as its resting place, curling beside you, watching you. At times it's a comfort, but other times it feels too much, almost invasive. That's the pull and the pressure of being set apart. And in the spirit, nothing and no one can ignore it, not even the animals of the earth. Let me show you what happens when you try to brush this off. You'll catch a glimpse of those eyes trained on you. You'll look away, dismiss it as meaningless, but it keeps happening. You keep being marked. The encounters mount. The same squirrel waiting on your path 3 days in a row. The crow following you from walk to walk. The neighbor's dog that used to bark now silent when you approach, gazing as if you were someone new. Nothing is random about this. When heaven covers you, earth takes notice, and all creation bears witness to the shift. Now listen to this. When judgment and blessing intermingle in your life, the watchers don't just see, they react. Animals behaving strangely is often the tip of a far bigger iceberg. It's a sign you're being studied for outcome, studied for vindication or for attack. When you walk into a room and the atmosphere feels thick, when you sit at a table and the conversation dies away, when you speak and silence follows, that's the echo of spiritual observation. Right now, as you hear these words, there are eyes on you, seen and unseen, tracking your choices, your movements, your responses. The world may pretend you don't matter, but the spirit realm knows better. Let me press this home. When you're under divine observation, it's not always comfortable. It can feel like pressure, like constant exposure. You want to hide, you try to downplay your light, but it shines through regardless. You're different. You're called. No amount of shrinking or fading can change that. Not just on the good days, especially on the days you feel unworthy, especially when you're praying desperate prayers at 3 a.m, crying for relief, whispering, "God, do you see me?" And the answer is always, "Yes, child, I see you. The whole realm sees you." Let me tell you what this means for your life. The animals see you because there is evidence on you, heavy as oil, bright as fire, invisible to most eyes but obvious to all creation. They watch because you are watched over, because your life is a stage for something bigger than ordinary sight. The old patterns won't work anymore. You can't hide from the calling. This spiritual observation is not accidental. It's an announcement. It's a testimony. You're being seen not just for what you've done, but for what you're about to become. So right now, as you exhale, as you wipe the sleep from your eyes and step back into the day, let it settle in your bones. Every stare, every pause, every sign is proof you are covered, marked, noticed, chosen. They wanted you overlooked, but you cannot be ignored. They prayed you would disappear, but the world can't help but follow your light. They schemed to make you ordinary, but heaven has set you apart. Every stare, every pause, every animal that cannot look away. Confirmation that you are seen, not dismissed. Overnight, observation turns to recognition, and recognition turns to elevation. They wanted silence, but your witness is loud in the land. They planned your erasure, but your story is still being written. Animals, atmosphere, all creation watching. Because right now, suddenly, overnight, you are living as one who cannot be unseen. Let me take you deeper now, chosen one, because you need to understand what the stare means when life seems to turn against you. When it feels as if the very air has grown heavy with accusations and silence instead of affirmation. There will be those long stretches, those weeks or months when it feels like nobody notices your sacrifices, your long nights, your silent tears. The phone stops ringing, invitations dry up, they pass over your name for the promotion, friends make space for everyone but you. Doors that once swung open now creak shut in your face. It seems the whole world looks away except for the animals, except for the silence, except for the shadows that linger with steady, knowing eyes. Right now, as you sit in that low place, you wonder if being seen in the spirit is worth the cost you're paying in the natural. Everyone wants to be chosen until the cost hits their door, until the weight presses down. You question it under your breath. Is all this extra attention, this invisible pressure, just a curse in disguise? You remember how, when you were a child, you felt the room get quieter when you walked in. The way pets in the family home would stop mid-play and lift their faces toward you, not out of fear, but out of some strange awareness. You remember moments as you got older when you tried to blend into the crowd but caught the unsettling intensity of a crow on the fence or a stray dog crouched in the alley. Eyes fixed on you as if searching for the blueprint of your next move. You couldn't explain it then. You can't explain it now. But it never went away. Let me show you what's really happening in these reversals. What feels like heaven's silence, what feels like being overlooked, is actually heaven's covering. You're being watched not because you're failing, but because you're carrying elements of your destiny that have to be witnessed by angels and adversaries alike. When animals stare without blinking, it's creation taking note. When people dismiss, creation records. Right now, in the moment of your greatest rejection, the most intense spiritual observation records every moment, every decision. Not just for judgment, hear me, but for future vindication. You are not walking through scrutiny for no purpose. Every closed door, every missed call, every awkward silence is evidence. The eyes that linger on you, the furrowed brows of those you pass, the crows that circle the parking lot and land wherever you stand. It is more than daily life. Heaven is building a record. What looks like delay is documentation. What feels like disappointment is being written as proof. Let me explain why all this is happening. Because your reversal is not the end of your story. This is the setup for your vindication. That same silent surveillance that felt like judgment will become your witness for justice. In moments when you thought the spotlight was only there to expose your weakness, God will turn it to highlight your strength. The animals sense what people deny. You're rising. When those who attacked you tried to discredit your name, when they whispered half-truths and waited for your collapse, something else was watching and waiting. The stare is not just confusion. It is a waiting, a knowing, a heralding of a shift. While people gossip, the creatures grow still. While the world moves past your pain, the realm of the unseen prepares for your release. Let me tell you what vindication really looks like. It does not come wrapped pretty. Vindication shows up messy, loud, undeniable. You wake up one morning and the contract that was canceled is suddenly replaced with a new opportunity bigger than what you lost. Right now, as you hear me, the calls that went unanswered begin to trickle in. Old connections remembering your name, new invitations appearing in your inbox. The checks that were late suddenly clear. The diagnosis that tormented your sleep flips to an all clear on the doctor's next report. You find yourself in rooms you never could have entered by effort alone, sitting at tables set by hands that once turned you away. The stare turns from suspicion to respect. Now listen to this. The same neighbor who avoided your conversations is suddenly stopping at the mailbox to ask for your advice. The employer who ignored your application calls and says, "We found your resume. Are you still interested?" The ones who dismissed you begin to remark, "Something's different about you." You arrive early, you stay late, and the place you occupy is now marked. The stairs that once unnerved you have become a crowd of unspoken witnesses, testimonies in flesh, fur, and feather to the favor that's come on you overnight. The atmosphere you carried quietly is now undeniable. Everyone wants to be near you. Everyone wants to understand your secret. Let me show you your commission, chosen one. Vindication is not just for your private comfort, it's an assignment. You were noticed, you were watched, and now you are meant to carry what you've received and release it to others, boldly, unashamedly. There is a reason the world can't take its eyes off you. Your life is a stage for courage in the face of loneliness, wisdom in the face of confusion, faith when the evidence says run. You don't shrink from the stairs anymore. You walk through them, head up, shoulders square, every step speaking of a God who marks and keeps his own. Let me show you how this works in the details. You're standing in a grocery store and feel the weight of eyes on you. An older woman with tired hands staring as if she's seen you before. You smile, and for a moment something shifts. She feels hope again. At the gas station, the stray cat rubbing against your ankle is not begging, it's bearing witness. Children at the park watch you when you walk by. Strangers feel drawn to ask for directions or advice, sensing, not knowing why, that you carry answers. The people who gossiped about your setbacks now talk about your resilience, telling a story they once tried to erase. Even adversaries begin to tread carefully. Those who plotted against you feel the warning in the atmosphere and step back. Influence flows to you. New doors open, the strange stares in public become recognition. They may not know your name, but they know your presence. Let me take you one step higher. Now the pressure is not just to endure, but to lead. You sense it whenever you wake, something waiting on you, an urgency, a push to move with boldness. It is no longer about retreating into the background or downplaying your uniqueness, but walking forward, charged, aware, awake. You are entrusted with this visibility. You become light for those lost in the fog. What was once intimidation is now empowerment. The stares of the animals are no longer queries. They are confirmation, nods from creation that you are in step with heaven. The dogs hush not out of confusion but respect. The birds circle not out of threat but agreement. The sense of being watched does not provoke anxiety now, but anticipation. Right now, as you read this, you feel the shift in your spirit, not dread, expectation, not fear, courage. You realize the price of being observed, the cost of carrying weight in the world, but also the joy of being placed, positioned, released. You no longer resent the stares, the scrutiny, the interruptions of the strange and the supernatural. Your answer is clear. Let them look. Let them stare. I know who stands with me. I know why I'm seen. Let me prophesy into your reality this very moment. The time of hiding is finished. The season of awkward exposure gives way to commanded promotion. Heaven has documented your reversals. Now heaven decrees your reversal. The silence that haunted your nights will become applause. The unanswered emails will become divine invitations. What was withheld is now released. Every mocking mouth will be silenced. Every watching eye will testify to your rising. Overnight, your territory changes. Suddenly, your connections expand. Right now, your name is in rooms you haven't even entered yet, your reputation growing even in places you've never set foot. Overnight, platforms open where you once had no voice. The waiting is over. The watching is over. It's your turn to move, your turn to build, your turn to bless. What the animals saw before the humans could understand, the humans can no longer deny. You will live as the evidence. You will stride as the answer to prayers you once thought forgotten. You will not be silenced. You will not shrink. You will not mistake your observation for shame again. Now you'll wear it as your crown. The stares that once unnerved you are your scepter. Your life is an open testimony. They wanted to erase your voice, but now you echo through the city. They wanted to stall your steps, but now you run. They tried to dismiss your difference, but now you lead. They spoke against your rising, but now you are established. The stairs increase, the favor multiplies. You walk out your door right now and the animals mark your passing. Strangers sense your arrival. Atmospheres break open wherever you go. Fallen ones regret ever plotting. The witnesses, seen and unseen, confirmed, chosen, marked, commissioned, never overlooked, forever observed by heaven and by earth. Suddenly, overnight now. Let me take you into the hidden layers, chosen one, because this is the hour when your reversal is not just occurring in the spirit, but is about to hit every visible place in your life. I need you to understand what happens when the verdict shifts, when the court of heaven issues a new decree and it ripples down into the earth. Last season's watchers become this season's evidence bearers. The stairs that haunted you now hold a record of what you survived. Everywhere you move, a testimony follows. Every room you enter, a hush goes before you. It isn't just animals that notice anymore. Human hearts that once dismissed you start to feel an unease, a stirring, an inexplicable sense that they misjudged you. The ones who spoke against you glance in your direction with a new kind of wariness, while those who never gave you the time of day now search you for answers. The reversal is in motion, and nothing, no voice, no spell, no rumor can stop it. Right now, behind the scenes, alignments are changing. People who turned their faces from you are being pressed by a force they can't understand. Opportunities they blocked you from are slipping out of their hands and tipping right back into your lap. The very deals they withheld from you are circling back. The positions denied you are suddenly vacant, waiting. The silent treatment they used to freeze you out now collapses under its own weight because they see who's standing with you. It's no longer about their acceptance. It's about heaven's vindication. Let me tell you what this vindication does on a Tuesday morning, on an ordinary day when you think nothing special could break through. Your phone buzzes and you stare at the name. It's a call you never expected to get. A voice on the other side apologizing, admitting that they made a mistake, that your name came up in a meeting and the doors they closed are now swinging open. You try not to sound shocked, but you are. Later that same day, an old debt is repaid without you having to beg or chase, and the account that once trembled on the edge now stands in the black. Vindication doesn't just show up in transactions and phone calls. It arrives in relationships, in the places where your confidence was dismantled. The friend who ghosted you without explanation sends a message, almost sheepish, asking how you've been, telling you they couldn't stop thinking about you. The neighbor who avoided eye contact now waves across the fence, and you feel the scales have shifted, the air changed. They see it in your eyes because humility and quiet strength have a shine that cannot be faked or hidden. You carry honor now, the kind that can't be given by men, the kind branded in midnight hours of prayer and surrender. Let me show you what vindication looks like in public and private. The people who once snickered at your ideas are copying your methods. Those who said you would never make it now repeat your words like wisdom. In private, your emails fill with encouragements, job offers, invitations. Behind closed doors, new networks open, platforms larger than before, influence that runs deeper. The ones who cursed you watch with speechless awe as favor breaks out on every side of your life. Suddenly, overnight, the blessing you carried in secret bursts into the open. The old threats, the spiritual attacks, the cloud of heaviness, they start to thin, to dissipate, as God raises a hedge around you. Not only is He restoring what was stolen, but He's putting a guard on what remains. The favor you walk in now is not the fragile thing you once wore. It's reinforced, tested, proven by the fire, the whispers in the night, the accusations in your head. They lose their sting because you've tasted grace on the other side of agony. You are seen, and being seen no longer rattles you, it roots you. Let me take you now from vindication to commission, because the reversal is never just to lift you up for your own sake. It's to prepare you for a greater task. Heaven didn't clear your record and shine light on your life just to give you sweet rest. You're commissioned now. With the watchful gaze comes new responsibility. You feel it in your chest, a pounding urgency to step out, to build, to speak. The same gaze that weighed you down now compels you forward. They will still stare, but this time you walk differently. You move as one sent. Commissioned, you step into rooms and you don't scan for approval. You radiate the confidence of one who's been approved already. When you speak, every eye is locked. When you advise, words land heavy. The animals still pause in the streets, but you're not jarred by it now. You nod at them, move on, knowing the earth itself recognizes authority. What brought you shame now testifies to your right to lead. You become the one others watch to understand the weather, to gauge the atmosphere. People feel safer when you're in the room. They seek you when crisis hits. You bless, you break bread, you intercede, not from a spirit of striving, but from overflow. Let me paint what commission feels like on the inside. You rise earlier, you carry an edge, holy urgency rising with the sun. There's little time for self-pity or introspection. You're watchful, quick to forgive, slow to react, always ready to move. When someone tries to bring up your past, you smile gently. It cannot shame you anymore. It's written into the record as proof of God's patience. When opportunities come, you don't hesitate, you discern. You sense whose presence to keep and whose to release. The light you carry no longer flickers in the wind, it stands, anchored. You bless daily, leading quietly, but with a presence that unsettles darkness wherever you go. Let me show you how the eyes of the world now search you for hope. The mother struggling with her child in the store sees calm when you glance her way. The teenager bullied for being different finds comfort when you speak blessing. The old man sitting on his porch feels visible again when you offer a wave. You sow healing, encouragement, courage, not by trying, but simply by being. The stares you once dreaded are now invitations. You lift up others even as you're lifted up, and the watching multiplies, because now heaven's intent is for your example to ripple out, to break the curses that used to stalk your family, to change the rules over your neighborhood, to make your presence a turning point in people's days. Let me take you to the closing edge of commission, where the fire in your bones burns so bright that every step matters, every decision has weight. The blessing you walk in becomes a shelter for others, and the tests that threaten to destroy you become blueprints for deliverance. You do not waste pain, you do not squander victory. Adversaries may try to reassemble, their schemes shallow, desperate, but their power is broken. The eyes that track you cannot curse what heaven has blessed. You walk with a new humility, a worn authority, a quiet laughter that comes from seeing both the valley and the victory. And so right now, as this word lands in your spirit, I release over you the full decree of heaven. Hear it as final, unmistakable, sealed with the authority of your survival. What watched to curse you is now forced to record your rise. What circled to intimidate now circles in awe. What was written against you is being erased. What was overlooked is now front and center. Doors open with no effort. Relationships form around favor. Platforms multiply at the speed of grace. They wanted to catch you stumbling, but now they witness you stand. They expected your voice to fade, but now they hear your song. They predicted your failure, but now they marvel at your fruit. They tried to snatch the promise away, but the promise doubled while they waited. They quietly hoped you would quit, but now they must watch you endure. They blocked your path, so God lifted you above every hurdle. They wished for you to be forgettable, but heaven made you unforgettable. Say it now over yourself. Every stare turns to witness, every judgment turns to testimony, every stumbling block becomes a stepping stone. Every silence is filled with new songs, every night of watching has built in you a light that cannot go out. You were never overlooked, only hidden for a time, not just seen but wanted, not just marked but commissioned, not just enduring but elevating. Your reversal is permanent. Your vindication is public. Your commission is active. Right now, suddenly, overnight, move forward. The world is watching, heaven is watching, creation cannot take its eyes off you. Now go, be everything you're called to be. Chosen one, let me draw you into what happens as the arc of your journey bends toward its highest point. Not a finish line, but a transformation. The moment when your scars don't just heal underneath. They shine out in the open for all to see what was truly accomplished in the dark. Right, here in the midst of your daily grind, right in the thick of ordinary routines, is where the reversal goes from invisible to undeniable. You're no longer walking weighed down by questions. You begin to walk in the clarity of what has already shifted, even if others are only now starting to catch up. There's a new steadiness to each step, and those who stare don't realize what they're witnessing. They're watching someone who knows where they've been, knows who kept them through the lowest valley, knows that every eye, natural and spiritual, is now powerless to send them back to the pit. That pit has become your calling card, proof you earned the authority you now carry. Let me take you into how reversal roots itself so deeply that even your opposition feels it. Their strategies grow brittle. Those who work to undermine you feel a shiver, an unexplainable discomfort around your presence. The whispers in the staff room turn to uneasy silences. The group chats that plotted your exclusion start to unravel. People who manipulated favor against you now find themselves exposed and outmaneuvered by forces they can't control. You sense it on the edges of every interaction. The ones who once gave you sideways glances now look through you and see the fire that didn't burn you up, but burned away everything that was meant to limit you. They see resilience where they predicted collapse. They were waiting for scandal, waiting for you to slip, but all they get now is consistency. Day after day, faithful presence, unshakable peace. You begin to realize that vindication is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet mornings when nobody's checking for you, and you find a supernatural confidence in your chest. Sometimes it's a message or letter that comes out of nowhere. Old wrongs being acknowledged, overdue apologies floating in with a strange humility. The bosses who once dismissed your work now ask for your opinion, and you don't gloat. Instead, you offer excellence, and your name is spoken in high places with respect. Friends who dismissed you suddenly need what you carry, and with new eyes, see you not only as you are, but as you've become. Even those who still carry pride, those who refuse to admit what they see, are forced to deal with the results of your faithfulness. Numbers don't lie, fruit doesn't bend to gossip, and your very life contradicts the story they tried to write over you. Let me dwell on this. Vindication is persistence becoming visible. It's nights of pleading with God that lead to mornings of standing still and watching the salvation of the Lord unfold without your striving. It's being kept when you had no reason left to be hopeful. Nights you tasted bitterness so you could deliver others into sweetness. You start to see the pattern, how every delay was building momentum in your favor, how every unanswered question was prompting others to start asking, how did they come through this? Right now, it's your presence that does the talking. They can't fake what you walk in. They can't replicate what you built through weeping and worship and waiting. They wanted a story of failure, but heaven is rolling out a narrative of relentless resurrection. Suddenly you realize vindication isn't just a private comfort. It's the evidence others need. People desperate for their own turnaround begin to hope again once they see you restored. They whisper to themselves, If God can do it for them, maybe there's hope for me. Your enemies unintentionally fuel the miracle by broadcasting your journey, and even those who tried to block you become mouthpieces for your blessing, testifying by their opposition that no human barrier could stop what heaven ordained. Even as new challenges come, you answer them from a place of settled identity, no longer performing for approval but responding with quiet authority. Measured, merciful, marked. And then, chosen one, there's the commission. The moment when simply surviving isn't enough and you feel the weight of new responsibility settle over your shoulders. It isn't crushing as before, but empowering. You recognize that everything you went through was never only about you. You survived not so you could say, "I made it," but so that broken ones, silenced voices, and weary hearts could see living proof that reversal is possible. You are commissioned to be a guide for others still trying to breathe in rooms heavy with suspicion, a signpost for those who keep waking up at 3 a.m., convinced they're being watched, because they are, but they don't yet understand it's divine attention, not punishment. You become a steward of the light that once exposed you. It is yours now to minister from. Not with pride or performance, but by being present, authentic, unafraid to show your wounds. You cultivate spaces where encouragement isn't shallow but deep, where blessing is more than words. It's action, sacrifice, presence that will not abandon. When wrong is done to you now, you respond with assurance. When tests come, and they will, you don't panic. You work from knowing. Your prayers sharpen. Your decisions grow bolder. The animals still stop to stare, but so do strangers, so do rivals, so do the coming generations. It's not pressure now, it's privilege, it's purpose. It's the very reason you were protected through what crushed another. Let me press even further. As you lean into the commission, you become a person of presence. Rooms fill when you enter, not with noise or bravado, but with a strange stillness that compels even distractible minds to pay attention. You become the reason the atmosphere changes at meetings, at family gatherings, on the streets, in the ordinary flow of the day. The humble and the hungry find themselves opening up to you, sometimes against their will, because your story has prepared you to hold their secrets, to guide them across the gap between despair and hope. Your discernment deepens. When suspicious eyes fall on you now, you recognize them, not as threats, but confirmations. You remember the years you longed for invisibility. Now you walk with gladness into visibility, unashamedly marked. Then you see it, the chain reaction. New leaders are drawn out of hiding just by witnessing the turnaround in your life. The atmosphere in your workplace is different now, not hostile but expectant. Whole communities start to expect better. The legacy that taunted your family line begins to change because you kept showing up. You didn't retreat. You let every stair become an altar and every table a place of worship. You realize the stairs are less about you and more about heaven's need to make you a landmark. Visible proof that the world's rules aren't the only rules in play. Now you sense you're living in the decree. The lines between heaven and your everyday life are thin. Old fears start to seem childish, a shadow you've outrun. The voice of accusation can't get traction anymore. It breaks on this new confidence, for you know you are justified. Heaven itself has already settled the matter. The last reversal has taken root, and the fruit is blossoming for everyone to see. You become immune to both the curse of criticism and the lie of flattery. You are not theirs to build up or tear down. You belong to another realm, and everything around you must adjust. Let this final word ring out and remain long after these lines fade from your sight. You are not defined by the eyes upon you, but by the call within you. They tried to make you second-guess your worth, but now you walk in certainty. They waited for you to vanish, but now your absence would be unthinkable. They tried to turn your difference into exile. Now your difference is the reason room is made. They designed obstacles, but God transformed them into open spaces. They wanted a witness to your fall, but heaven scripted an audience for your rising. They wanted to stare in judgment, but now they must stare in awe. Let it be so. As you walk, atmospheres obey. As you speak, peace multiplies. As you breathe, burdens break. Your life is now the marker of heaven's persistence. Your story refuses to close. Your name is carried where you thought you'd never go. Your presence unlocking places you never dreamed to stand. Every reversal becomes a new beginning. Every stare a silent benediction. So move forward now, chosen one. Nothing and no one can send you backwards. Step into boldness, step into fullness, step into a world that cannot help but witness what God has done in and through you. You are seen, you are sent, you are still rising. This is your decree, here, now, suddenly, overnight, forever.